Jean-Paul Sartre was one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. He was a philosopher, writer, political activist, and public intellectual whose ideas challenged people to think deeply about freedom, responsibility, power, and justice. Among the many statements associated with Sartre, one of the most powerful is, "When the rich wage war, it is the poor who die." This simple sentence captures a reality that has repeated itself throughout human history. Powerful leaders and wealthy elites often make decisions that lead nations into conflict, while ordinary men and women bear the greatest suffering. Sartre was born in Paris, France, in 1905. From a young age, he showed a strong interest in literature and philosophy. He studied at some of France's most respected institutions and became known for his sharp intellect and independent thinking. Rather than accepting traditional beliefs without question, Sartre encouraged people to examine the world for themselves and take responsibility for their choices. His philosophy, known as existentialism, focused on human freedom and the idea that people create meaning in their own lives through their actions. The events of the 20th century had a major impact on Sartre's thinking. He lived through 2 world wars and witnessed the destruction, suffering, and political turmoil that followed. During World War II, France was occupied by Nazi Germany, and millions of people across Europe experienced fear, loss, and hardship. These experiences convinced Sartre that intellectuals could not remain silent in the face of injustice. He believed that writers and thinkers had a responsibility to speak out against oppression and defend human dignity. The quote, "When the rich wage war, it is the poor who die," reflects Sartre's concern about inequality and the human cost of conflict. Throughout history, wars have often been planned by political leaders, powerful governments, and wealthy interests. Yet the people who fight on the front lines are usually ordinary citizens. Farmers, workers, laborers, and young people from humble backgrounds are often the ones sent into battle. Their families endure loss, poverty, displacement, and grief while those in positions of power may remain far from the battlefield. This idea can be seen in many historical conflicts. Nations may go to war over territory, resources, political influence, or ideological differences. However, regardless of the reasons given by leaders, the consequences are frequently felt most strongly by ordinary people. Homes are destroyed, communities are divided, and countless lives are changed forever. Sartre's statement reminds us to look beyond political slogans and consider who truly pays the price when war begins. Sartre was not only interested in philosophy, he was deeply engaged in social and political issues. He supported movements that fought against colonialism and injustice. He believed that people should challenge systems that exploit or oppress others. His writings encouraged readers to question authority and think critically about the structures of power that shape society. He argued that freedom is not simply a personal matter but also depends on creating conditions where all people can live with dignity and opportunity. One reason Sartre's words continue to resonate today is that they address a universal issue. Around the world, many people feel disconnected from the decisions made by powerful institutions and leaders. They see how economic inequality can influence politics and how ordinary citizens often carry the burdens created by larger forces. Sartre's quote speaks to these concerns by highlighting the gap between those who make decisions and those who suffer their consequences. At the same time, Sartre believed that individuals are not powerless. A central theme of his philosophy is responsibility. He argued that people must not simply accept the world as it is. Instead, they should take action, make choices, and work toward creating a more just society. Even when circumstances are difficult, human beings retain the ability to choose how they respond. This belief in personal responsibility was at the heart of his intellectual work and political activism. Sartre's influence extended far beyond philosophy. His novels, plays, essays, and political writings reached audiences across the world. He became a symbol of intellectual independence and was admired by many who sought social change. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature, but he declined the honor because he believed writers should remain independent from official institutions. This decision reflected his commitment to his principles and his desire to maintain intellectual freedom. Today, Jean-Paul Sartre remains an important figure in modern thought. His ideas continue to be studied in universities, discussed by scholars, and explored by readers interested in philosophy and social justice. The quote, "When the rich wage war, it is the poor who die," remains relevant because it challenges us to think about the true costs of conflict and the responsibilities of those who hold power. In the end, Sartre's message is not only about war. It is about awareness, responsibility, and justice. He urged people to question the systems around them, to recognize the humanity of others, and to understand that freedom comes with moral responsibility. His words remind us that behind every political decision are real human lives. By remembering this truth, societies can strive for greater fairness, compassion, and accountability. That is why Jean-Paul Sartre's voice continues to echo across generations, inspiring people to think critically about power, inequality, and the value of human life.